Hello everyone, welcome to one another episode of weekly sectoral analysis. Last week, initial part of the week was pretty good. In fact, the Nifty stayed above this resistance level, traded above it, and then by the end of the week there was a huge selling. Recently, crude prices bhi काफी नीचे आ गए हैं. They are trading below 87, but despite that, this selling has happened. This is very, very surprising. If I check the weekly time frame chart, I can see the data says pretty clearly that things are chopping around. The trend momentum is flattish. The trend is down, but momentum is not present, and any index which has no momentum, it's not going to be easy to trade it. It's going to be choppy. Also, if you see that this particular support over here, first it was a resistance. यहाँ पे continuous resistance आ रहा था. Then last week starting, we closed above it. And then once again on Friday, वापस हमने इसके नीचे close कर दिया. So what is basically happening? We are just chopping around. Nothing great is happening. Now, if the market wants to go back higher and start a bullish trend, it is not going to be easy. Now, according to me, we need to trade about 24,100 to 24,150. If we trade about 24,150, 125, 150, only then things will improve. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. And apart from that, the way this candle is is visible, it is a great increment in the short-term volatility. Overall, according to me, if you are a short-term trader, सिर्फ निफ्टी को देख के ट्रेड मत करिएगा. Be very, very aware in which particular index you want to trade, and then you trade the stocks according to the analysis of that particular index. Bank Nifty, I think it continues to look bearish. Trend and momentum both are on the downside. You can see pretty clearly, slowly and steadily it's sliding on the downside like this. Yes, in the initial first half of the week, it was looking pretty good. But then again, on the last day of the week, it did, started looking like a pretty sharp sell-off, and it closed almost 614 points on the downside on the last day of the week. Now, this selling is happening preliminary to the PSU Banks. PSU Banks continue the bearish movement on the downside. The trend and momentum is extremely on the downside. It's full of momentum, no doubts about that. The candle of the last week is also looking like a inverted hammer. Along with that, the displacement of the moving averages is also now negative. So overall, these signs are pretty clear that the trend momentum is all down and it is a sell on rise sector. Private banking space, on the other hand, is slightly different. This is what I did share on 9th May, and it was visible on the first day of the week. It did give a breakout, did give a trend line breakout. You can see this is the first point, second, and the third point. Now over here we have a breakout. After the breakout, this is a retest of the trend line. Many times what happens is that the index comes down, retests the support, and then bounces back on the upside. Is this going to happen or not? Frankly, I have no idea. ये सिर्फ टाइम और वक्त बताएगा कि आने वाले वीक में are we going to surpass this particular high or not. If we surpass this high, then things in the private banking space might improve, but it is not going to be easy because I think one stock which is a heavyweight in the private banking space has suddenly started showing a negative trend and momentum. So बाकी के जो दूसरे 2-3 स्टॉक्स हैं उनको बहुत अच्छी तरीके से परफॉर्म करना पड़ेगा to drag Bank Nifty on the upside. Oil and gas space. Oil and gas space, I think I would not like to say much because it's pretty much clear. It's choppy. It's range bound. It's just going up and down. There is no trend or momentum over here. Yes, fine. You can say trend is down, but there is no momentum. It's just choppy. You can only make money in a particular index if it's going down consistently or going up consistently. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. Auto space. Auto space, yes, the last candle, candle of the last week is bearish. The weekly candle is also bearish. But according to me, what has happened is it's trying to improve. It's gone up, it has come down, it's gone up, but it has not come down very significantly. It's trying to improve, but it's very difficult to say because the top couple of stocks with very higher weightage in auto space, they're not giving very good performance on the upside. Once the heavyweight starts performing pretty nicely, then the overall picture of this particular auto pack will improve. So yes, you can keep an eye on this sector, but don't be extremely bullish as of now and wait for a week. Consumer durables. Now, consumer durables, once again, suddenly it has started coming down, and once again, it's now showing negative trend and momentum. You can see the way it has gone down. You can see the way it has gone down even over here. So I was warning all of you that this particular sector, since so many months, it has been pretty volatile in nature. Very, very volatile, and that volatility continues. Okay. Consumption pack. Consumption pack, I would say yes, the last day of the week, Friday, and even over here, the last week's candle is not very great. It's a bearish candle, but nevertheless, the trend and momentum over here in the weekly time frame chart is still positive. This is a recent support, 11,133. If we start trading below this, then things will deteriorate in this sector. Till then, things are better. But I would also say that it has come down. It should also start going up as soon as possible, so things can improve in this particular sector. Finance pack. Finance pack, according to me, things are pretty flattish. Yes, it is starting to look slightly bearish. You can say that it is making lower highs, lower lows. I agree. But still the state of trend in the weekly time frame chart is not that bearish. The outlook says the overall chart looks pretty bearish, but I think we should wait from the signal of the weekly time frame chart that things are getting deteriorated. Till then, let's wait. FMCG. FMCG as a sector has improved its state of trend and momentum recently in this particular bullback, and now it is given a retracement. Now this retracement is much more clearly visible in the daily time frame chart. For the FMCG pack, just a one-day pullback or a two-day pullback is not going to happen. It will need big moves like this for the entire trend to change. Keep that in mind. You will need an explosion of volatility over here in the FMCG pack on the upside for this entire sector to improve. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy. But yes, the state of trend and momentum in the FMCG pack is improving. IT space. Now, IT space on the last day of the week, things improved. I think there was some announcement which had come in one of the stocks, and due to that, I think things started changing. Every IT stock, I think on that day, especially the heavyweights, were in positive, but by the time markets closed, a lot of the gains were erased. But still, after a very long time, suddenly the trend and momentum of the weekly time frame chart of the IT space is now flattish. Yes, it is flattish. It will be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Is it going to reverse on the upside, or once again it just consolidate and again enters into a bearish trend and momentum area? I think we'll need to wait and watch. Infra space is one of the outperforming sectors right now. Overall, the state of trend and momentum is positive. and I think the pullbacks on the downside in the daily time frame chart should be identified as a buying opportunity. Metal space. Metal space is very, very strong. It is an uptrend. The momentum is also on the upside. Yes, the last candle of the weekly time frame chart looks bearish, and even over here the last two candles in the daily time frame chart are clearly saying that this is a sort of a candle which looks like an inverted hammer, and this is a bearish candle. The state of trend is positive in the weekly time frame chart, but possibly a deeper pullback in the metal pack space can be used as a buying opportunity, according to me, till the time the metal space in the weekly time frame chart looks positive. Okay, so overall it's a positive sector. Pharma pack overall looks extremely positive trend and momentum. The space between the price and the moving averages is now getting wider. It is important that the pharma sector corrects, retraces, and after the retracement is over, then it should start an upward journey, not otherwise. PSE sector. PSE sector, I would say that we can clearly say that this was the previous high, this is the new high, previous low, and this is the recent low. Overall trend momentum is positive, no doubt about that. But in PSE sector, we can see that the way in the last few days, it has been very, very choppy. So I think we'll need a pretty big candle over here to come out of this range bound structure and give a breakout and a bit of thrush of momentum on the upside. Overall sector looks positive. Realty pack. Realty pack, I should say the previous week was looking like a pretty decent bullish, I think, formation on the candlestick charts. But the last candle over here is an inverted hammer, or you can say a gravestone doji. This is due to the sell-off which did occur on the last 2 days of the week. And even on the daily time frame chart, you can see things were very, very sideways and choppy over here. Overall state of trend is positive, no problem about that. It is surely positive. But what happens in the next week is going to be important. We need to surpass this particular 800, ये जो 800 का जो भाव है इसके ऊपर प्राइस को जाना पड़ेगा, and then if it continues to move up ahead, it will be really, really positive for this sector. India Defense. India Defense is a super duper outperformer. You can see the way it has blown. It's going up, coming down. Even the pullback is very shallow, and the prices are not ready to come down. Overall, it's a extremely bullish sector, and overall probability of the prices going up is very, very high. Mid-cap space. Mid-cap space overall trend and momentum is positive. The way it has shot up is pretty nice. The retracement is pretty low. Yes, the last candle is not that great. I do agree with that. But as far as this low is not broken, things are fine. Any retracement should be used as a buying opportunity till the time the weekly time frame chart is positive. All right. So overall, I think I would say that it was pretty bad to see that on the last day of the week, markets came down by a sell-off. And it's now up to the IT space. Again, IT space is the second highest in terms of weightage, and IT space has now come out of the bearish trend and momentum. The PSU banks continue the bearish sentiment. Private banking space, I think that is one particular sector which is trading at a trend line breakout support. It's going to be very important to see how these 2-3 sector move, because all other sectors like metal, pharma, they are positive. Even realty is positive. Even India Defense is positive. FMCG is so far positive. Yes, it has given a deeper pullback, but still so far it's positive. But apart from FMCG, all these other sectors don't have that much of weightage in the Nifty. So if you want the Nifty and the Sensex to move up higher, the main game lies in banking and IT. All right. So if you are a short-term trader, a short-term momentum trader, ध्यान रखिएगा, do not place your trades, do not time your trades with the help of just looking at Nifty, because Nifty is choppy. You'll have to time your trades by looking at the sectoral indices and the way it is moving. All right. Trade less and trade wisely. Thank you.